Welcome to Writing Good Stories. I'm Marlene Byrne, and on the other end is my longtime friend and writing partner, David Hasna. Welcome, David.
Hi, Marlene. How are you today?
I am good.
Good.
So, give us some insight to things that you make sure that you're crafting as you're writing a good story.
Well, that's really interesting, and that's one we could talk about for a long time. But I think, especially if you're a newer writer, a newer author, I think you want to start with something that you know and base characters and plots on things that you've maybe experienced or that you've observed, because I think that will put you in a comfort zone. And more than that, it will give you more energy and momentum to move forward. And then I think one thing that I think is really important for writers, and it's not so much of a writing tip as it is more of a motivational thing, is
Mhm.
I think it's really important to write for an audience of one. And that audience of one is yourself at first,
Yeah.
especially when you're new. I think you have
Yeah.
to try and strip away any expectations that you think others might have of your writing or your craft and just go for it.
Mhm.
And not really put any filters on yourself when you write. You can always come back and revise. You can always edit. You can
Yeah.
always show it to someone else. But I think it's that first, when that gate opens, is to charge forward and just to get something down. And I think that really creates a lot of momentum.
I think the concept of liking what you're talking about does really help in good writing. If you love mystery and you want to write mystery, that's always so much more powerful than if you're like, well, I really like romance, but I'm going to try to write a biography. It's much harder. I think it's the things that you're gravitated to that make you a good writer in that particular genre.
Right. And I think too, a lot of times you and I have even done it. I mean, we've talked about trying to come up with the idea that no one's had before.
Yeah.
And it's really
Right.
difficult because it's hard to come up with an original idea. However, no one has your story and
Right.
no one has my story.
Right.
So if we can start with authenticity and then work out from there, and don't be afraid to be derivative of something else you've seen, because that's everything builds off
Right.
of other
Right.
things,
Right.
experiences and
Right.
ideas.
Yeah, and I think when you think about some of the writers that have been super successful, and you think about Harry Potter and some of those things, you're like, wow, I mean, that's something that just was so different than anything out there, that the success was there. But there's a lot of successful writers that have taken something they loved and created a story in that same genre, in that same kind of flair, and but made it their own and made the story still really interesting to readers. Once somebody reads a story that they like, they look forward to more of the same. And that doesn't mean it's
Right.
exactly the same, but there are some really good opportunities out there to still create a great story and deliver a great story in a way that is uniquely your own.
And if you are new to it, or you're just dipping your toe in the water, start small. It's like exercise or anything
Yeah.
else. Is
Yeah.
don't try to do everything all at once, because you will be overwhelmed. You will get turned off by it. You will end up not liking it. So
Right.
start small. Write a journal. Write a couple of sentences.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Even just talk into your phone and make voice recordings. Start small and build from there.
Well, and that's really how you wrote one of your books, was a series of essays where you wrote every day and put that together. That was a fantastic way to really hone your craft, have a good story, continue to kind of build on pulling that together. So I love that book.
Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a good way to do it. It's hard no matter what, but it's
Yeah.
always fun.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. Come back. We are always just looking for any questions you have. You can put them on our website at goodstoriespublishing.com. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much.